I'm excited to have William Ferguson back in the studio, who has a runoff against Carroll to be the next mayor of Sugar Land. William was competing against 5 other candidates, 6 of them, and 2 of them are left now to be the next mayor. And William's story is truly inspirational. He's going to share with us today why he deserves to get your vote to be the next mayor of Sugar Land. William, welcome back again.
Wow, great to be here, Kunal. And howdy, Sugar Land. Hey, it's great to be here. Thank you for having us here.
Absolutely. It's been a journey for you, being part of the council for many, many years.
Yes, sir.
You were one of the 6 candidates who put the name in to run for the mayor, and now we have yourself and Carol running for the runoff, which is happening in the next few weeks. I want you to remind the listeners today, your primary agenda, your primary task on hand that you plan on tackling as the next mayor of Sugar Land.
Well, I'm going to do it this way. I'm going to throw out the 3. The main one is going to be common for any candidate, I believe. Otherwise, they're not going to make it. The first one is always safety of our city. That's an easy one. I've been a cop for 33 years here in Fort Bend County. It's going to be easy. We're top police, fire, and EMS in Texas, and we are in the 3% top of the United States for EMS. Guys, we are doing safe, okay? Safe is our thing. The second thing is economic development. All around us, you see that happening. From MD Anderson to Lake Point Green to Imperial, everything that's happening is all happening now under our watch, my watch over the last 5 years. Mayor Zimmerman, our council, we work as a great team, and right now that thriving piece is already running. So we're going to continue that. The third is, you probably remember this, in our diversity, this election cycle divided us. There was a cultural divide I was almost embarrassed at points. And guys, we're going to get over that, and we're going to unite this city like never before. From our parties, from our places at the table, we're going to have a great time building our neighborhood again. And so those are the main 3. But I got to tell you, what really stands out to me right now is what our city needs right now is a decisive leader, someone that is willing to take all the details and make tough decisions. Not compromise for a potential win somewhere, but for a decisive win for our city. I'm telling you guys, you need that right now more than ever before, and that's what we're going to bring to you here after June 7th.
Love it. So, William, for you, it's been months and months of leading to this date today.
Yes, sir.
And you had other candidates. Share with me your experience of getting this point of the runoff between you and Carol, because you had an agenda, you had your own campaign. What do you believe got you to the point where you are one of the 2 candidates in the runoff?
Here's what I do believe. I believe ultimately that our city, the base of our city, I mean everyone, from the left to the right, Republican, Democrat, there is one thing they don't ever want, and that is a religious election. That never needs to be. If I were running to be some sort of a religious leader, they're going to reject me. So I got to tell you, over my lifetime, I don't run to ever be, regardless of my religion, I'm telling you now, I run to be a leader, period. And so I have been that leader for the last 33 years in our community. I've stood on the front line. The last 5 years, I've stood on the front line in council, and I got to tell you, I love every minute of it. Even though there are times there is great frustration in the process, at the end of it all, we're going to have a better city than when I got it. And I'm hoping that you and others will join me as we step into this new role as mayor. And remember something beautiful. We are on the threshold, literally, of controlling the future of this beautiful city in our hands, literally not 3 weeks away.
The Sugar Land, that's part of Fort Bend County.
Yes.
Fort Bend County is considered one of the most diverse counties in all of America. Share with me your perspective about diversity, different religious backgrounds, ethnic background that blend in to our city of Sugar Land. How important is to support diversity? How important is it for you to support all religions?
Oh, my goodness. All right. So if we want to grow, the reality is we need to be with people that are not like us from birth. Let's be candid about it. So I could grow up with the same people that go to the same church, the same attitude, the same everything, and I'm never going to grow outside of that. What's beautiful about Sugar Land and Fort Bend both, everybody around you is a little bit different. And it is so great. You get to try new foods. You get to try new social groups. You get to learn so much. I cannot tell you how many different mosques, temples, you name it, that I've been to, and everyone made me a better person. Every single one of them at its root is service to their community and their neighbors. And I've got to tell you, you can't exclude someone just because they're different than you. And that's what happens in Sugar Land. And under leadership like mine, everyone has a place at the table. Their concerns are my concerns. I like it that way. I like it that way.
Fair enough. Some topics or something that were close to your heart when you put your candidacy in place to run for the mayor, and fast forward to today. Did anything change in your agenda or strategy based on how you felt how the campaign was run for your team, for your candidacy?
You know, I don't mind telling you. So my motivation first was our city simply needs a leader. Okay? People ask me all the time, why you? Well, it's because I'm willing to face political pushback. I'm willing to face any sort of a uncertainty. You give me the facts, I'll make a decision. Now, here's the great thing. Right or wrong, we're going to go in that direction, and we will adjust our course as we go. But what you don't need is indecisive leadership. So as this recent campaign unfolded, it really gave me a chance to look at my opponents and say, I must continue to run, because I saw the political winds pushing them around, and it was so unnecessary. We need men like you that even though the task ahead is a challenge, you're going to just put your head down, you're going to buckle down, and you're going to go. And you're going to get moved a little slightly, but you're going to finish the race every time. I know you. I'm the same way, and you know that, because I am willing to ask for whatever I need for the help, because I'm providing along the way, and my ask is always there.
When we met last time, a few weeks ago or a month ago, you brought up the analogy of you're a sheepdog.
Yes, sir.
And a sheepdog is the one who dives in, goes
Yes,
in,
sir.
saves, and is not afraid of jumping in the fire. Remind me again your philosophy, your strategy of being a sheepdog.
So here, it's very important that people understand. When you think about how few public servants there are out of the 340 million people in America, there's a very small percentage of what I refer to as sheepdogs. People that look at the greater community and they say, regardless what attacks us, what comes our way, we're going to stand against that. We are going to hold off that force. And, you know, I don't know about you. I watch National Geographic all the time, and I see these big, beautiful sheepdog, these different breeds, and their only role is to protect those sheep. Whatever comes their way, they're going to protect those sheep. So those lamb get lost, they're going to protect them. So as a public servant, where it's police, fire, EMS, ready for this, teachers, these folks will stand in the face of whatever adversity on behalf of those children, those students. So sheepdog has a broad definition, but I just got to tell you, men and women that stand in the line of fire for the sheep, which is just the general population. It's not a demeaning term. It's just the people that will go away from the risk. The other night, you may or may not know this, there was an incident right down the street, a young man with a rifle, and he was firing rounds, and the police were there within 4 minutes or so, 5 minutes max.
In Sugar Land.
In Sugar Land, right down the road here. And he was firing into the air, firing all over I won't get into it. But what happened? The officers did what? They pulled up and they ran to him. He's armed, he's firing, and what happened? The sheepdog showed up. The sheepdog showed up. And when they do, they will control whatever's going on. And that's what we do. And so as a mayor, I will see what is bad coming for our city, and we'll stand in the line of it. That's okay. That's what we're designed to do. And we're not going to run from problems, economic problems, disasters that are coming from hurricanes or otherwise. You've got an executive team here in Sugar Land, second to none. They put systems in place already that when adversity's coming, the system's already there. They just look over to the needed system and they engage it, and it'll resolve it. It's incredible the number of sheepdog that we have in this community watching over this city. It's beautiful.
Love it. It's more of a selfish question coming from me, William. Being a business owner, being an entrepreneur, I've gone through the phases of working with the city, working with the permitting department, building what I built today. What message do you have for aspiring entrepreneurs, business owners who want to open their own business or move their business from different city, different county, over to your backyard, how would you encourage them? What tools, applications, support will you provide to future business owners who want to be entrepreneurs?
So key, because you and I both are entrepreneurs, the key thing is have a plan. Most entrepreneurs literally come to the table with no plan. They have emotion, they have vision, they have ideas, but they don't have a plan. And the great thing about having a plan is you can adjust it. It may be imperfect. You meet with people that you respect, and they're going to look at you and say, that won't work in the real world. This will work. And don't always play by other people's rules, but you want to be wise enough to have a plan that can be flexible. So the second thing, why I would want them to come to Sugar Land. Here's the great news. What I refer to as the housing issue in our city is being resolved. The job concerns in our city are being resolved. With MD Anderson, with Lexington Green, with Lake Point Green, with or Lexington Commons and Lake Point Green, with all of these new developments right about starting. In fact, some of them have already started. There's going to be great jobs. They're going to be great consumers to small businesses. They're coming. So I would tell you, if you're a small business owner or an entrepreneur just getting started, you need to be in Sugar Land, because there's going to be 2,000 to 3,000 new jobs before long. MD Anderson will be up and running by 2029, maybe late 28. All the other support systems and retailers are going to be coming right around MD Anderson and Lake Point Green. It's about to be an incredible time economically and socially in our city.
From your perspective, what business types best thrive in our environment?
Okay, so with the medical, what I'm referring to is the medical jobs that are coming, there's going to be a huge amount of durable medical equipment. There are going to be a ton of medical offices opening. There's going to be a need for nursing. You just think about this. In the development process of all of these, you're going to need plumbers, electricians. You're going to need everything that supports that. So I'm going to pick on, in a good way, our big box Home Depot, Lowe's, all those players. They're about to smile every day because we're going to be pulling from their inventory. All of these builders and contractors are about to just thrive our local businesses. And I'm excited about that for them. So we need what I would call skilled and licensed labor. We need it all. And now's the time. All you got to do is look over the freeway from this building right now and go, wow. It's coming, and it's a great time to be here. I'm excited for every small business in our community because the consumer is coming.
Fantastic. When I look at our own medical center in Houston, MD Anderson, all the hospitals bring people from all over the world that come in for medical treatment. And just talking about MD Anderson, because that's the next one opening in our backyard.
Yes, sir.
People come for long-term care, chemotherapy, and they have treatments for, if not for weeks and months, for extended period of time.
Sure.
And a lot of apartments or short-term rentals thrive on people coming for long-term medical treatment to Houston area. So I'm assuming same concept will apply over here. MD Anderson opening over here, cancer treatment, people coming in for long-term care from other countries, other cities or states. What's your perspective about having apartments or having opportunities for short-term rentals for those people coming for medical care to our backyard?
So men like you and I, you understand the market demand dictates everything. So my preferences are second always to market demand. Here's what I predict is going to happen, and I can't prove this until it happens. With hospital stays being limited to 2 nights at this MD Anderson when it is open, that'll give you an example. The president of MD Anderson has already made that clear. The one limited service that this 472,000 square foot building will have, the one limit is it'll have a maximum of 2-night stays. With that said, you're going to have family members that need to be here a short amount of time. So what I'm predicting is we're probably going to impact our local hotels pretty heavily initially until other hotels decide they can find room to be here for that. And when it comes to apartments, those are going to probably cater more to new employees. Not that it won't be a need for a patient family member, but the reality is the apartments that people stay in now generally have 30 to 31 day minimums because we don't do the the home that you rent overnight. We don't
Airbnb.
do that here. Yeah, we don't do that here.
Okay.
Not that it would ever change. When there's a market demand, there may be considerations, but I do not oppose any type of housing, as long as it's upscale housing. Now, I think if you start bringing in lower scale, lower income housing, you're really bringing in maybe a consumer you're not seeking. Not that they're not welcome. I was raised in A-Leaf. I loved my experience as a child, and the apartments I lived in were nothing to talk about. But I got to tell you, I loved every minute of it because it was my experience, and it was safe and it was fun. But as far as low-income housing in Sugar Land, I don't predict that will ever happen. To give you an example, the Lake Point Green presentation, the general cost will be $200 plus a square foot. So when you think about even an apartment there, it's going to be very expensive. And I do predict that will be the style. There's almost 700 units on Lake Point Green, plus all the multifamily that's going to be there. It's gorgeous if you've not seen it. So I would say we're going to have apartments, but the reality is they're not going to be super affordable, and the short stay will probably still fall on the backs of hotels.
Fair enough. And it all comes down to the cost of land. When the land is expensive in Sugar Land, the cost of construction, the cost of end product,
Yes.
whether it's apartment, single family, townhome, goes up. So I'm aligned with you that even if you carve out a space to build apartments based on cost of construction, based on cost of land, they're going to be more expensive. But I want to ask you again, if the market demands that there's a need for high-end spaces for people to come and stay, and we need to make an amendment potentially to our bylaws where Airbnb or short-term rentals are allowed, what would the city's perspective be if that were to be the case?
Well, you know, everything has a pro and a con.
Yes.
So if you decide you want to allow a home to be rented for 3 nights, and you've got to realize that there are people in that community that are not temporary stays, they are long-term stays, and they may not like the negative impact, if there are, of a short-term stay home in their neighborhood. And I predict that HOAs won't allow it. I predict, just like our current ordinances, they don't allow it. I think the negatives in that case probably outweigh the positives.
Okay.
And when that ever changes, certainly that'll go through our system of checks and balances, and it could happen, but it's unlikely to happen anytime soon, because I've not heard anyone express an educated, non-emotional, an educated argument for short-term stay homes. I don't see that happening.
Fair enough. What I really want to get a validation is there are rules, regulations, but as long as our leadership team is open to evaluating,
always
open to listening in, and if there's a business case to be made, if the benefits outweigh the negatives, we'll be open to that. Love that perspective. I want to challenge you directly, where I want to ask you, last few months we had 6 candidates, and it was William trying to get his best vote, get his best candidacy out there. Now it's you and Carol, and I want to talk directly about you versus Carol now.
Sure.
Would you want to highlight to me and the listeners today 3 things that truly differentiate you versus Carol, and why should someone vote for you and not vote for her?
If someone is looking for transparency, I will tell you sometimes what you don't want to know. I will tell you that. If you're looking for transparency, I'm your guy. If you're looking for someone to make the tough decisions, I'm your guy. If you're looking for a thriving economy, I'm your guy. These are simple, but what I cannot stand are people not willing to make the hard decisions. And the reason I say that, there is so much at risk right now. With the limited amount of undeveloped land in our city, we can't make the wrong decision right now. So you have to be a leader. You have to have a leader that is willing to look at the facts and the details and scrape the emotions out of it and say, this is the direction we're going. That's who I am. That's why you really need to consider me to be your next mayor.
Do you feel Carol does not have those skills?
Without putting words in, or I don't want to limit her abilities, okay? I've worked with her for 5 years. She's probably one of the nicest and certainly most educated people I've ever met. I don't see her as being decisive.
Fair enough.
And so that would be my only concern. And the things that I'm seeing right now in her campaign trouble me. And only because I think more of her than what I'm seeing in that campaign. There are things we know that are true and false. And when I see things that are false coming out of a campaign, I'm thinking, what are they doing? Like, you don't have to do that. Just tell the truth. And sometimes the community doesn't like the truth, but it's the truth. And so, nothing against her. I just think the city needs someone that is decisive.
I've spent some time with Carol as well,
Sure.
and she's very well educated, has master's degree, was the first female to go on an oil rig to work over there, engineering background. She's exceptionally great leader.
Yes.
And she's very analytical.
Very.
And we're talking about your perspective is to be a greatest leader for the city of Sugar Land, being decisive is really important, where you feel that's where you outweigh your value
Yes.
versus the candidate you're running against. So this is last few days. You shared with me we have from May 27th to June 3rd. That's the window.
Early voting.
Early voting. People go in and vote there. Cast their vote between yourself and Carol.
Yes.
Then we'll have another date, which is June 7th,
That's election day.
election day, to come out and vote. So early voting May 27th to June 3rd and June 7th. If I could get 60 seconds of William Ferguson's pitch or value proposition to ask for people's vote, what would you say? And would you want to put on a hat?
I'll wear my hat. That's my favorite.
Let's do that.
Absolutely.
Let's get camera
Absolutely.
action. Your message to get people to come out and vote early or vote on June 7th. Why should William be the next mayor of Sugar Land?
Hi, I'm William Ferguson. Those of you that do not know me, I've been a police officer in this county for 33 years. I'm currently a reserve lieutenant in Fort Bend County Precinct 1. I love this city. I love this county. With that said, I am the leader you need. If you are looking to be safe in your life in Sugar Land, and I'm not just talking about those that live here, I'm talking those that have businesses here. If you're looking to be safe, that's a vote for William. If you're looking for your business to grow, if you're looking to move your business here, that's a vote for William. And more importantly, maybe than everything, is I want to unite this city. Everything that is different about us, I want to bring us together as a beautiful neighborhood that covers 45 square miles, 115,000 people. Won't it be nice that your vote is the reason we leave something better to our children than we received? Please vote for William Ferguson on May 27th through June 3rd. And then June 7th, if you've not had time, come on out and vote 7 to 7. I look forward to getting your vote. Thank you.
That's a concise message. To the point, boom, boom, boom. Here's why William deserves your vote. Every time I talk to you, William, I get inspired, I get motivated. Your family values, your background, being a law enforcement officer, your own entrepreneur business, and where you're headed in the future. I've known your family for a number of years.
Yes.
And you get me excited. And I see the passion in you to serve our city.
May I want to respond
Yes.
to that if I may?
Yes.
So this is something that you probably need to hear more often than you do.
Okay.
And that is thank you from a dad that has watched you encourage my daughter, that has watched you train and build her up along with all of these other men and women. I want to say thank you for that. You inspire us probably more than I could ever inspire you. But what I've learned in my life that you live out is simply this. A leader, they have a huge responsibility to make leaders. And I think you live that out every day. I certainly know your family as well. I know how you not speak it, but live it. And I need to tell you thank you for that. As a dad, as a member of our community, thank you for that.
It's mutual respect, William, and goes a long, long way. But I'm excited that we are in the last phase of your journey.
Yes, sir.
And the next 2 weeks, 2 to 3 weeks, we'll be voting from May 27th to June 3rd, early voting, and June 7th, the final day of election, where we want to see you win the next mayor of Sugar Land to be our next leader. Super excited about that. Thanks for making the time to come out today and re-engage with me, William.
And thank you to each one of you that had took the time to, they voted for me for over 5,800 votes. We led by 1,200 votes, a field of 6 candidates. It was unexpected and unheard of. But I believe that our city wants to thrive, and now's the time to do it.
That's what I'm talking about. So if you have tuned in, come out, vote 27th of May to June 3rd. That's early voting. And then final election day is June 7th. Come out, pick the right candidate to be the next leader for yourself and the city of Sugar Land. Thank you.
Thank you.